أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The Pakistan Academy of Engineering recognizes that there is no formally constituted district.
Over to you, Professor Dr. Shahid. He'll be talking on recent advancements in construction industry.
Whereas in Pakistan we don't find robots operating in construction field, but in elsewhere, in advanced countries, robots are now finding a place in the construction industry. Present mind setup. We are so thankful to you for giving us such a wonderful exposure to the construction industry. Thank you, Dr. Shahid. Thank you, sure. We now request our next speaker.
Sustainability in the new standard. So this is already a lot of work is being done on that. And of course, as I said, that many of the people from our consulting engineers, they are working on that very well. It's highly appreciable.
We have opened all of the things because one thing is that it's part of the society. Universities are a part of society and it should deliver something to the society. Not just in terms of giving our degrees, but they should be involved in the policy making, interacting with the industry, finding out what's happening, giving ideas to the industry, how to change the things, how to look at the different sectors in the society.
Assalamu alaikum. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد آتينا داود منا فضلا يا جبال أوبي معه والطير وألنا له الحديد أن اعمل صابغات وقدر في السرد واعملوا صالحا إني بما تعملون بصير. Translation. Indeed, we granted David a great privilege from us, commanding, O mountains, echo his heights, and the birds as well. We made iron moldable for him, instructing, make full-length armor, perfectly balancing the links, and work righteousness. O family of David, indeed, I am all-seeing of what you do. Sadaqallah.
To all the participants who have given wonderful insight what a consultant can do in introduction of a new technology. Our president, Dr. Jameel, is here. I'd like him to just give concluding remarks.
Respected speakers, my dear fellow engineers, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, Salamun ala manittaba'ul huda. The Pakistan Academy of Engineering recognizes that there is no formally constituted institution in the country looking after technology assessment and transfer of emerging technologies. There used to be a poorly managed organization in the mid-70s looking after technology transfer. However, we have no information as to why it was disbanded. The question now is whether an organization is necessary to promote and facilitate transfer of new technologies for the benefit of the country. The only living organizations dealing with the application of technologies to raise the development projects are the firms of consulting engineers registered with the Pakistan Engineering Council. At this point of time, this is the only media expected to promote use of new technologies. Undoubtedly, there are barriers. Consulting engineers are not fully independent to upgrade the technologies involved in the projects. Adoption of new technologies has to primarily emerge in the stipulations made by the owners of the project. Government and private collaboration with foreign consulting firms have been a successful mode of technology transfer in the past. However, the urgency of deriving benefit from the viable new technologies, it will be necessary to remodel the regulatory space. The Pakistan Engineering Council, in its conduct and practice of consulting engineers bylaws, very clearly regulates that a consulting engineer shall continue to acquire the latest knowledge of disciplines through continuing professional development as prescribed by the Council. Furthermore, in case of transfer of technology agreements, foreign consultants shall apply to the Council a copy of the approval obtained from the employer. However, we regret to know that there appears to be no monitoring. The consulting engineers may testify in this respect. We have a hefty list of 847 in this with practically enforceable measure designed to act as effective media for technology transfer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
In Allah, which actually make you successful in such environment. I will start from COVID-19. As a matter of fact, my today's talk has a relationship with whatever has happened in COVID and how construction industry has responded after COVID-19. So, as Sarah Ozgular, an international correspondent, she reports in her paper that COVID-19 will likely be known as a trigger that changed the way the world sees and carries out business. So that is the beginning of the change or the revolution in construction industry. Next slide, please. During the pandemic, COVID-19 era, pandemic has introduced new challenges such as distancing on job sites, travel restrictions for project engineers, site safety and security, labor shortages, supply chains, market trend. Next, please. As per global construction perspective and Oxford Economics, China, US, and India will account for 57% of all global growth in the construction and engineering market by 2030, underpinning the future economic development of the three countries that account for over a third of the world's population and economic output. Next slide. They further estimates that the global construction market is set to grow by $8 trillion by 2030, reaching a total size of $17.5 trillion, up by 85% to 2030. So the construction industry will grow by 35% after COVID-19 by 2030. The benefits of adopting engineering technologies are economic growth, increased productivity opportunities, reduced job site hazards and construction cost, improved profitability, affordability, and financial sustainability, improved communication and information sharing between stakeholders, improve the industry's overall performance, enhance its reputation, and increase profits. Next slide, please. Whereas there are a number of modern days construction technologies. In my today's talk, I will discuss the most important technologies that have impacted and are assumed to impact the construction industry in the future. These are 5D building information technology, or modeling, AI and IoT, better known as Internet of Things or intelligent built environment, augmented reality and virtual reality assisted buildings, construction drones, construction robotics, advanced building materials, 3D construction printing, modular construction. The top, yeah. The top three technologies are pertaining to planning and design, whereas the remaining ones are related to construction and its application. The discussion on each technology is worth one presentation, and you can find abundance of material on the net and other references. But in today's talk, I will only touch the discussion on these technologies briefly to emphasize their impact on construction industry in the future. So the main emphasis is, not to discuss the technology in detail, but to see how these technologies are going to impact the construction industry and how it's going to impact the global economy. So to start with, the first technology I'm going to discuss is 5D building information modeling. Next slide. Building information modeling, also known as BIM or virtual design and construction, is an abstract model with object-based style. BIM in construction has significantly grown over the last 10 to 15 years. BIM is a single model concept which encompasses all project components in one model. Starting from 2D model, it includes 3D visualization, then construction models, and then all MEP models, then energy model, and then the interior design, and finally to the schedules. Next slide, please. In 5D, as a matter of fact, in BIM, nowadays, people are talking of 7D BIM, but in today's discussion, I will only restrict to 5D BIM. So what is BIM? The 2D conventional model is upgraded to 3D shapes, and then incorporating the schedule, it becomes 4D BIM. And the estimation, when the estimation dimension is added, it becomes 5D BIM. And sustainability and facility management constitutes 6th and 7th dimensions. So there are theoretically, people are talking of 7D BIM, but in today's discussion, we'll be restricting to 5D BIM. 5D BIM is an advanced approach which extends the capabilities of traditional BIM. 5th dimension adds cost to the model. 5D BIM combines the visual presentation of the design and project management, scheduling, and cost analysis. The key points of the BIM are collaboration, risk assessment, and communication. BIM enables collaboration among clients, project managers, builders, and subcontractors by integrating their expertise into the design model. By linking cost data to model elements, 5D BIM becomes a powerful virtual reality. These are the two technologies that could extensively assist the construction industry in enhancing the workflows, fostering better coordination, offering effective training methods. Next slide, please. Augmented reality allows to view and test a building's digital twin before construction work begins. Data can captured, analyzed, and stored ahead of a build, speeding up processes and resulting in higher performance structures. Augmented reality is referred as a site extension of being. Virtual reality, on the other hand, is an environment that is artificially created using various types of hardware and software. Virtual reality is an image created in 3D, which is viewed using a computer or devices such as haptic devices, wearable devices, and verbal display screens. Most of us are familiar with virtual reality, like walkthrough and these things. These are in practice for the last 15 or 20 years. But augmented reality is a slightly new concept and is a revolution in the construction industry. So we will play a video just to explain how virtual augmented reality works. Computer model is superimposed on the actual site. For instance, if the construction has been done, then the engineer can or architect can go to the site and he will superimpose his model on the site and would confirm that all its position of columns and are accurate and correct. If there is any flaw or any mistake, then it will be rectified. So after the column, beam, and grade structure, once grade structure is done, then MEP, the pipes and everything can be superimposed and can be confirmed that it's all in place. So this technology will almost eliminate any mistakes in the drawings or design. So this is going to be a revolution in engineering and virtual reality. Most of us are familiar with virtual reality. So it's, as a matter of fact, it's a simulation. Before the design, before the construction starts, the whole project is simulated on computers. So this is something now it is being, it is in an advanced stage now. You can see the your virtual reality by using glasses, and so this technology is in progress, and in the future we will see a lot of development in the construction drones. I believe, most of us are familiar with the construction drones these days, especially through the courtesy of in TV and channels. When there is a speech, the politicians come there, all speeches are monitored and covered by drones. But this application in engineering is tremendous. Construction drones have emerged as game changers, redefining the way construction projects are planned, executed, and maintained. Equipped with sophisticated sensors, cameras, and technology, drones offer unparalleled capabilities to capture real-time data, generate accurate 3D models, and conduct remote inspections. Overall integration of construction drones yield transformative advancements across all phases of construction projects. As technology continues to advance, drones are expected to play an increasingly critical role in shaping the future of the construction industry. Next slide. Construction drones are unmanned aerial vehicles or unmanned aircraft systems. The role of these gadgets includes surveying and monitoring, as well as imaging the area from above the further analysis. Key features are geographical positioning system, thermal sensor, camera, software. The use of construction drones are in topographic mapping and land surveys. It surveys vast acres of land in a short time. It generates actual and accurate maps, accurate maps. It is also used in equipment tracking, helps in locating the equipment and its malfunction. It also it is used in progress monitoring, captures real-time data for progress monitoring. It is also used for security surveillance, help prevent damage or theft. It is also used for personal safety. It can take measurements of hard-reaching areas and increase the safety. And finally, it can be used for structure inspection and photography for condition survey. The most commonly used construction drones are of three types. The fixed wing types, which can reach higher altitudes, and it is efficient for pre-construction processes like mapping, topography, and surveying of large areas. But it is difficult to work in tight spaces since it can move in forward directions only. Another type is rotary wing construction drones, which has again three types: quadcopter having 4 wings, hexacopter having 6 wings, and octocopter having 8 wings. The rotary wings have a rotor design that allows them to hover in places, in tight places, and remain stable. It is a good option for aerial inspections, photography, and surveillances. And the third type is mixed drones, which is a combination of fixed wings and rotor wing construction robotics. I mean, we are all familiar with robots. It's a very old concept, probably 50, 60 years old concept in automobile industry. It is being used. I remember back in 80s, I mean, early 90s, I was in Toyota factory, and all of their work, all of the assembly was automated. So robots were installed in Toyota factory in 1990. But in construction industry also, now there is an extensive use of robotics in construction industry. Whereas in Pakistan, we don't find robots operating in construction field, but in elsewhere, in advanced countries, robots are now, they are finding a place in the construction industry. Robotics and automation expedite the numerous repetitive and time-consuming tasks. Robotic solutions extend to automating heavy equipment and fleets for excavation, transportation, load lifting, concrete works, and demolition, enhancing worker safety and cutting down operational time. I mean, most of us are familiar with the function of robotics for these things, but these days, for instance, there is a startup, Advanced Construction Robotics is a startup developing rebar tying robots to automate rebar installation. The use of AI and computer vision in the startups, TieBot and IronBot, eliminates the need for manual mapping and calibration by auto-locating, auto-positioning, and tying up to 110 rebar inspection per hour. I mean, this can be appreciated by only those who are in the construction industry. It's a very tedious process, and doing manually is a very hard part. But with the construction robots, this will become not only easier, but it will become accurate also, because manually it is, if you go for inspection, there you will find a lot of defects in the workmanship. But with the introduction of robots, it is assumed and predicted that work will not only be accurate, but quality-wise, it will be improved. Another
startup, Singaporean startup. Western Robot provides autonomous heavy equipment for load lifting, logistic, patrolling, inspection, and disinfection.
एड्रेस का इंतजार है।
इसको सीधा तो करो।
सर आपकी आवाज, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है सर? सर आपका ओपनिंग प्रेसिडेंशियल एड्रेस की के लिए रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे।
प्रेसिडेंशियल एड्रेस के लिए रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा है।
तिलावत हो गई?
जी हो गई। सर आपको क्लियर है आवाज?
जी जी जी, बात ठीक है, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। Respected speakers, my dear fellow engineers, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, Salamun ala man ittaba'al huda. The Pakistan Academy of Engineering recognizes that there is no formally constituted institution in the country looking after technology assessment and transfer of emerging technologies. There used to be a poorly managed organization in the mid-70s looking after technology transfer. However, we have no information as to why it was disbanded. The question now is whether an organization is necessary to promote and facilitate transfer of new technologies for the benefit of the country. The only living organizations dealing with the application of technologies to raise the development projects are the firms of consulting engineers registered with the Pakistan Engineering Council. At this point of time, this is the only media expected to promote use of new technologies. Undoubtedly, there are barriers. Consulting engineers are not fully independent to upgrade the technologies involved in the projects. Adoption of new technologies has to primarily emerge in the stipulations made by the owners of the project. Government and private collaboration with foreign consulting firms have been a successful mode of technology transfer in the past. However, the urgency of deriving benefit from the viable new technologies, it will be necessary to remodel the regulatory space. The Pakistan Engineering Council, in its conduct and practice of consulting engineers bylaws, very clearly regulates that a consulting engineer shall continue to acquire the latest knowledge of disciplines through continuing professional development as prescribed by the Council. Furthermore, in case of transfer of technology agreements, foreign consultants shall apply to the Council a copy of the approval obtained from the employer. However, we regret to know that there appears to be no monitoring. The consulting engineers may testify in this respect. We have a hefty list of 847 registered with practically enforceable measure designed to act as effective media for technology transfer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I believe in Allah, which actually make you successful in such environment. We'll start from COVID-19. As a matter of fact, my today's talk has a relationship with whatever has happened in COVID and how construction industry has responded after COVID-19. So, as Sarah Ozgular, an international correspondent, she reports in her paper that COVID-19 will likely be known as a trigger that changed the way the world sees and carries out business. So that is the beginning of the change or the revolution in construction industry. Next slide, please. During the pandemic, COVID-19 era, 19 pandemic has introduced new challenges such as distancing on job sites, travel restrictions for project engineers, site safety and security, labor shortages, supply chains, market trend. Next, please. As per global construction perspective and Oxford Economics, China, US, and India will account for 57% of all global growth in the construction and engineering market by 2030, underpinning the future economic development of the three countries that account for over a third of the world's population and economic output. Next slide. They further estimates that the global construction market is set to grow by $8 trillion by 2030, reaching a total size of $17.5 trillion, up by 85% to 2030. So the construction industry will grow by 35% after COVID-19 by 2030. The benefits of adopting engineering technologies are economic growth, increased productivity opportunities, reduced job site hazards and construction cost, improved profitability, affordability, and financial sustainability, improved communication and information sharing between stakeholders, improve the industry's overall performance, enhance its reputation, and increase profits. Next slide, please. Whereas there are a number of modern days construction technologies. In my today's talk, I will discuss the most important technologies that have impacted and are assumed to impact the construction industry in the future. These are 5D building information technology or modeling, AI and IoT, better known as Internet of Things or intelligent built environment, augmented reality and virtual reality assisted buildings, construction drones, construction robotics, advanced building materials, 3D construction printing, modular construction. The top, yeah. The top three technologies are pertaining to planning and design, whereas the remaining ones are related to construction and its application. The discussion on each technology is worth one presentation, and you can find abundance of material on the net and other references. But in today's talk, I will only touch the discussion on these technologies briefly to emphasize their impact on construction industry in the future. So the main emphasis is, not to discuss the technology in detail, but to see how these technologies are going to impact the construction industry and how it's going to impact the global economy. So to start with, the first technology I'm going to discuss is 5D building information modeling. Next. Building information modeling, also known as BIM or virtual design and construction, is an abstract model with object-based style. BIM in construction has significantly grown over the last 10 to 15 years. BIM is a single model concept which encompasses all project components in one model. Starting from 2D model, it includes 3D visualization, then construction models, and then the all
MEP models, then energy model, and then the interior design, and finally to the schedules. Next slide, please. In 5D, as a matter of fact, in BIM, nowadays, people are talking of 7D BIM. But in today's discussion, I will only restrict to 5D BIM. So, what is BIM? The 2D conventional model is upgraded to 3D shapes. And then incorporating the schedule, it becomes 4D BIM. And the estimation, when the estimation dimension is added, it becomes 5D BIM. And sustainability and facility management constitutes sixth and seventh dimensions. So there are theoretically people are talking of 7D BIM, but in today's discussion we'll be restricting to 5D BIM. 5D BIM is an advanced approach which extends the capabilities of traditional BIM. Fifth dimension adds cost to the model. 5D BIM combines the visual presentation of the design and project management, scheduling, and cost analysis. The key points of the BIM are collaboration, risk assessment, and communication. BIM enables collaboration among clients, project managers, builders, and subcontractors by integrating their expertise into the design model. By linking cost data to model elements, 5D BIM becomes a powerful risk assessment. These are the two technologies that could extensively assist the construction industry in enhancing the workflows, fostering better coordination, offering effective training methods. Next slide, please. Augmented reality allow to view and test a building's digital twin before construction work begins. Data can be captured, analyzed, and stored ahead of a build, speeding up processes and resulting in higher performance structures. Augmented reality is referred as a site extension of BIM. Virtual reality, on the other hand, is an environment that is artificially created using various types of hardware and software. Virtual reality is an image created in 3D, which is viewed using a computer or devices such as haptic devices, wearable devices, and verbal display screens. Most of us are familiar with virtual reality, like walkthrough and these things. These are in practice for the last 15 or 20 years. But augmented reality is a slightly new concept and is a revolution in the construction industry. So we will play a video just to explain how virtual computer model is superimposed on the actual site. For instance, if the construction has been done, then the engineer can or architect can go to the site and he will superimpose his model on the site and would confirm that it's all its position of columns and are accurate and correct. If there is any flaw or any mistake, then it will be rectified. So after the column, beam, and grade structure, once grade structure is done, then MEP, the pipes and everything can be superimposed and can be confirmed that it's all in place. So this technology will almost eliminate any mistakes in the drawings or design. So this is going to be a revolution in engineering and architecture. Then virtual reality most of us are familiar with virtual reality. So it's, as a matter of fact, it's a simulation. Before the design, before the construction starts, the whole project is simulated on computers. So this is something now it is being, I mean, it is in an advanced stage now. You can see the your virtual reality by using glasses. So this technology is in progress, and in the future we will see a lot of development. Construction drones, I believe, I mean, most of us are familiar with the construction drones these days, especially through the courtesy of our, I mean, in TV and channels, when there is a speech, I mean, the politicians come there, all speeches are monitored and covered by drones. But this application in engineering is tremendous. Construction drones have emerged as game changers, redefining the way construction projects are planned, executed, and maintained. Equipped with sophisticated sensors, cameras, and technology, drones offer unparalleled capabilities to capture real-time data, generate accurate 3D models, and conduct remote inspections. Overall, integration of construction drones yield transformative advancements across all phases of construction projects. As technology continues to advance, drones are expected to play an increasingly critical role in shaping the future of the construction industry. Next slide. Construction drones are unmanned aerial vehicles or unmanned aircraft systems. The role of these gadgets includes surveying and monitoring as well as imaging the area from above the further analysis. Key features are geographical positioning system, thermal sensor, camera, software. The use of construction drones are in topographic mapping and land surveys. It surveys vast acres of land in a short time. It generates actual and accurate maps, rather accurate maps. It is also used in equipment tracking, helps in locating the equipment and its malfunction. It also it is used in progress monitoring, captures real-time data for progress monitoring. It is also used for security surveillance, help prevent damage or theft. It is also used for personal safety. It can take measurements of hard-reaching areas and increase the safety. And finally, it can be used for structure inspection and photography for condition survey. The most commonly used construction drones are of three types. The fixed wing types, which can reach higher altitudes, and it is efficient for pre-construction processes like mapping, topography, and surveying of large areas. But it is difficult to work in tight spaces since it can move in forward directions only. Another type is rotary wing construction drones, which has again three types: quadcopter having 4 wings, hexacopter having 6 wings, and octocopter having 8 wings. The rotary wings have a rotor design that allows them to hover in places, in tight places, and remain stable. It is a good option for aerial inspections, photography, and surveillances. And the third type is mixed drones, which is a combination of fixed wings and rotor wing drones. Then comes construction robotics. I mean, we are all familiar with robots. It's a very old concept, probably 50, 60 years old concept uh, in uh, in automobile industry. It is being used. I remember back in 80s, I mean early 90s, I was in Toyota factory, and all of their work, all of their assembly was automated. So robots were installed in Toyota factory in 1990. But in construction industry also now there is an extensive use of robotics in construction industry. Uh, Whereas in Pakistan, we don't find robots operating in construction field, but in elsewhere, in advanced countries, robots are now, they are finding a place in the construction industry. Robotics and automation expedite the numerous repetitive and time-consuming tasks. Robotic solutions extend to automating heavy equipment and fleets for excavation, transportation, load lifting, concrete works, and demolition, enhancing worker safety and cutting down operational time. I mean, most of us are familiar with the function of robotics for these things, but these days, for instance, there is a startup, Advanced Construction Robotics is a startup developing rebar tying robots to automate rebar installation. The use of AI and computer vision in the startups, TieBot and IronBot, eliminates the need for manual mapping and calibration by auto-locating, auto-positioning, and tying up to 110 rebar inspection per hour. I mean, this can be appreciated by only those who are in the construction industry. It's a very tedious process, and doing manually is a very hard part. But with the construction robots, this will become not only easier, but it will become accurate also, because but manually it is. If you go for inspection, there you will find a lot of defects in the workmanship. With the introduction of robots, it is assumed and predicted that work will not only be accurate, but quality-wise, it will be improved. Another startup, Singaporean startup, Western Robot, provides autonomous heavy equipment for load lifting, logistic, patrolling, inspection, and disinfection. Then comes advanced building materials. When there is a advancement in construction technology, in construction equipment, then the advancement and in material is something which needs to be discussed. Advanced building materials are becoming integral to new construction practices. Innovative and sustainable materials like 3D printed concrete and basalt are replacing traditional ores. I mean, each one of them, there are lots of research on each of the materials, and still they are in the research phase. Some of them are being used, but some of them are still in research stage. Self-healing concrete, utilizing bacteria, exemplifies materials derived from living organisms. I don't know how many of you know about self-healing concrete. There's a concept, and lots of research is going on that if there are minor cracks in the concrete, then in self-healing concrete, those minor cracks would be healed up by itself utilizing bacteria. So research is going on, and very limited application, but the concept is there. Another category of cutting-edge materials includes aerogel, graphene, carbon composites, hydroceramics, and nanomaterials known for their lightness and high water holding capacity. Uh, I don't know how many of you know all these materials, but carbon composite is in extensive use. I myself have used this material for repair purpose. Nano materials are, you can see in paints and I mean for solar panels. Spanish startup Graphene's developed graphene-based construction materials. The graphene-based architecture products include solar protection and wind facades. The compact graphene features properties such as flame retardant, color consistency for outdoor exposition, and mechanical strength. Building and construction industry have been facing several issues, especially in after COVID-19. Skilled labor, cumbersome formwork, automation and safety issues, efficiency, difficulty in meeting the targeted demand. 3D printing seems to be a promising technology that can build complex three-dimensional structures without the need of formwork and human intervention. It is an innovation that contributes to automation in civil engineering and offers benefits in design, leanness, and efficiency. 3D printing, also known as additive manufacturing, is a layered material joining process that is based on 3D model data to manufacture various structures and complex geometric shapes without using any tooling, dies, or fixtures. Concept is, very simple, and all of you are familiar with that. CAD 3D modeler, it develops STL file, which is stereolithographic files, and coupled with a slicer, it develops layer slices and tool paths, which is compatible with 3D printer, and finally 3D object is the end of that. Next slide, please. There are three types of 3D printer. D-shape, it is an off-site in-situ gantry-based 3D printer. The technology works by depositing alternating layers of powder or granular matter like sand or aggregate, and specially formulated binding ink that fuses the grains together. This enables printing of solid structures from the ground up, wall by wall, layer by layer. So the aggregates are first laid and then binding material are sprayed. So in this way, they are combined. The second type is concrete printing, which is again off-site in situ gantry based. This is different from the previous one. Here, concrete printing is another large-scale 3D construction process. It uses a single spool nozzle, which moves along a pre-programmed path and continuously extrudes the concrete material. So concrete is in the form of mixed up material and it deposits. The third type is contour crafting. It is an on-site gantry-based. Contour crafting is a mega-scale fabrication process that enables additive fabrication of large-scale objects directly from computer models. In this process, an extruder nozzle attached to a gantry crane is used to apply a concrete mixture. The crane or extruder nozzle travels along the digital floor plan of the building object and places layers of concrete on top of each other to a certain extent similar to the FDM process, which is again it's another process. Challenges and opportunities associated with 3D printing are standards required. Buildings that are made up of repeated and standardized sections known as modules. It is technically a form of prefabrication. Modules are constructed in an off-site factory setting under controlled conditions. Design is according to building codes and regulations. The finished structure is transported to site for assembly. Only excavation, laying of foundation, and module installation are performed at construction site. Benefits of modular construction are economy of scale through repetitive manufacture, rapid installation on site, 6 to 8 units per day, high level of quality control in factory production, reduced construction time, limited disruption in the vicinity of construction site, adaptable for future extensions, cost-effective and energy efficient. Potential for reuse and repurposing as they are portable. Their applications in private, social, and shelter housing, apartments and mixed-use buildings, in educational sector and student residences, key worker accommodation. It requires continuous supply chain of modular construction. Transportation requires special vehicle. There are financial constraints, lack of equipment and skilled labor, and limited expertise. With this, I finish my talk today. And these were the few important technologies what are going to impact the construction industry in the future. They can
तो आपने बता दें लेकिन पाकिस्तान में किस तरह इंट्रोड्यूस हुई ये इशू
नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है कि पाकिस्तान में कैसे इंट्रोड्यूस होंगी. देखिए, इसमें एज ए मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट few of them are already in use, especially in the design and planning side. For instance, construction drone. Its use it has already started. We have already used construction drones on one of our projects in KPK. That was tourism. I mean, it was a World Bank funded project, and we were working with a Malaysian company. So all the topographical features were done by using construction drones because those were hilly areas. Manually, it was difficult, time consuming, and expensive. Through construction drones, it was easier and cheaper for us. So we have already done that. Then comes to virtual reality. Virtual reality is already in practice. I mean, not so extensively, but architects, they were developing this walkthrough. And I've gone to a college in defense, Nixon College. So they have developed a practical example of virtual reality by wearing glasses. You can see that. So those kind of things are already in the development phase. But yes, it will take some time. As far as augmented reality is concerned, I believe it will come in the construction industry very soon because the consultants in Pakistan are, I mean, by the grace of God, it is in the hands of educated people up to now. I mean, what's going to happen in the future, we don't know. So the consultants, they want to invest in the technology and they acquire technology. So I believe very soon you will be seeing the virtual augmented reality. And BEAM it is being taught in many of the universities of Pakistan. I believe in NED University, Sufa University, there is a course on BEAM, and consultants, they are, they are working on it. So as far as consultancy is concerned, yes, you will find some application in Pakistan. When it comes to construction industry and its application, there I'm not that optimistic because in our construction industry, corporatization has gone. There was a time when McDonald Later and Company came in and NC, they were big construction company. They used to spend and invest on development and research and development. But these days, most of the construction company actually is owned by a single person, and most of them are focused only on profit making. And this is my personal feeling that long-term planning and long-term vision is, at least at the moment, it is missing. So I am not that much optimistic about the construction.
Thank you, Doctor. Any other question? Please introduce yourself and
मेरा नाम डॉक्टर साहब जवाब है। मैं कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री से तकरीबन 46 साल से बाहर हूँ। मैंने स्टार्ट किया था स्टील मिल से, वहाँ मशीनरी थी। लेकिन मसला कंस्ट्रक्शन में ये आ रहा है, जब आप कॉन्ट्रैक्ट देते हैं तो इतने कंपटीशन रेट होते हैं, उसके बाद आप उससे रिबेट भी ले लेते कॉन्ट्रैक्टर से, तो वो कैसे जाएगा ऑटोमेशन पे? मेरी समझ में नहीं आ रहा, क्योंकि ये थोड़ा कॉस्टली चीज है और उसको जरूरी नहीं है कि कंटिन्यूअस प्रोजेक्ट मिलते रहे ठेकेदार को। हमारे यहाँ तो कंस्ट्रक्शन जो इंडस्ट्री है वो ऊपर जाके एकदम फॉल करती है। अब वो आपने जो मैकडॉनल्ड लेटन की बात की, उनकी वजह बेसिकली ये थी कि वो कम्पीट ही नहीं कर पा रहे थे दूसरे कॉन्ट्रैक्टर से।
You are 100% right. When I started working, so in the late 80s, my first project was with McDonald Leighton and Company. They were our contractor. And I witnessed the downfall of McDonald Leighton and Company. Their overhead was high and they started losing projects after projects because of their high markup, high overhead, and they were not able to compete with the smaller contractors. And now you can see within 30 to 40 years, I mean, no construction company with a corporate setup has been able to survive. So now we are here. I don't think that with this present mindset we are going to go somewhere unless there is a change in the policy, in the decision making.
thank you, Dr. Saab. We are so thankful to you for giving us such a wonderful exposure to the construction industry. Thank you, Dr. Shahid. Thank you, sir. We now request our next speaker. We will now request our next speaker, who is going to be consulting engineers, catalyst for innovation in construction industry. For that, we have Mr. Atif Irfan Sheikh. He's head of business unit of the construction division of Descon Engineering Private Limited, Lahore. Mr. Atif.
So today I'm going to discuss about the catalyst for innovation in construction industry. And of course, there is a disclaimer in the beginning that I'm not saying that the people in consulting engineering profession, they are not performing well or they are not doing their efforts. Of course, a lot of efforts are done. So efforts are being done, and but of course, what we need to do is that we need to build a culture where the consulting engineers can perform better. And what are the expectations from the contractor side or the client side? That I think I'll share my mind with you, and definitely we will cover more in question and answer session. So what we are going to discuss today, what are the objectives of today's session? So first of all, this is to clarify the pivotal functions and responsibilities of consulting engineers, just to bring us on the same page. With construction industry under the umbrella of ESG, I'll touch upon that as well, because definitely there's a lot of work being going on in terms of ESG. And to showcase how consulting engineers drive the adoption of sustainable construction, that's a very important part, considering what's going on as far as the environment is concerned. And the third is to demonstrate consulting engineers' proficiency in mitigating risks effectively. And we are also going to touch base on that and to examine how consulting engineers anticipate and adapt to emerging industry trends. So this is also an area where we are going to discuss today. So first of bridge between a contractor and a client. So I'm sure that most of you agree on that. And if there's a disagreement, definitely we are also going to discuss in QA sessions afterwards. But I believe that the person, the organization that can bring a change, that can change minds, that can change a culture, is largely consulting engineer. Of course, the clients and the contractors have their roles in that, but the pivotal role. So what we see when we compare the projects that were going on a decade ago and the projects which are being executed now, we see that the pace has largely increased. We don't see the pace that was there a decade ago. Now everyone wants the project to be completed overnight, which is of course not possible. But talking about the things that are going on and how we are increasing the pace of project, that's where the cost management need has increased as all over the world, but of course in Pakistan being an economy which is under pressure. So everyone wants the project to be executed at the bare minimum cost, but with the best results. The technological integration that was not there as much as it is today, we need to focus on that. And the presentation just before me very clearly, very vividly spoke about that. And such initiatives are definitely needed. And I believe that the consultants are the agents of change. They can innovate, they can bring these changes. Risk management, that part is quite much missing when we talk about the projects here, specifically in our part of the world. Environment, health and safety is also a missing link, and same goes with QA/QC compliance. So these are the things that I'll touch upon today, and how can the consulting engineers play their role, and they can bring a change as far as these areas are concerned. So there's a question that we all need to think about, and that is amidst increasing demand for innovation, how do consulting engineers foster a culture of creativity and continuous improvement within construction projects? So that's, I think, the area, the whole thing that we are going to discuss today. And yes, of course, if we have some audience online, they can write their comments in chat box, and the audience, the in-person audience, they will definitely go through all this session, and then they will be in a better position to give their comments on that. So first thing that as I said, that the most important thing that is going on in the world and our part of the world as well, that is compliance on environment, social and governance, ESG. And how can the consultants, the consulting engineer, play their part in that? So, of course, this is like a compelling thing that if these things are incorporated in the very beginning, or they are incorporated not just whole, but bite-sized approach, that if we start incorporating these things in the contracts, in the construction projects, in our culture of contracting, consulting, and as the client side. So definitely things are going to change. It will take time. I don't say that it's going to happen overnight, but definitely the change is going to come if we start moving towards that. As they say that that the first step taken covers us a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So we need to take that first step towards these things, and then we will definitely see the change in our society, in our culture, in construction industry, everywhere. So a very important portion when we talk about ESG is environment, health, and safety. So the first challenge that we see is that the budgets are very tight and the profit margins are very low. So how can consulting engineers ensure that EHS remains a top priority? So I would just say that it's a Quranic wording that the person who saved a single life saved the whole mankind. So the projects definitely, the projects may get executed, the projects may complete, the project, water sector project, dams, irrigation, water supply. For Karachi city, the last Karachi mega project K3 was designed and executed under my supervision. And now the Karachi water supply project K4, it is currently designed and being executed under my supervision. I am the team leader and project manager for K4 project. So now you might know that K4 project is being designed in an entirely different design than it was being done since last 2007 and 8.
models, software we are using, okay, we are always doing a part of it. A water supply, if I am designing it, I am doing the pipeline only and risk component. If I am designing a building, my architect is working separately, my structural engineer is working separately, my plumbing and mechanical engineering works is being done separately. We do have, everyone has a separate design, drawings and component. Now, when we combine each and everything in just one system, we call it BIM. And that's why when we create with combining all these things at one place, so it becomes a virtual model of the system. And that's how we call it. We are making system twice, one virtual and the second is the reality, in reality. So when you use the word of revolution, so in fact, consulting engineering business, I believe, is going to change, and it has started changing in the world. And it was really strange for me, okay, that when we came across some international projects, okay, we were asked, are you working with BIM also? We say, we haven't started working on BIM. And then we learned that, okay, if we are not working with BIM, okay, it means that we are not going to get any project, overseas project in Saudi Arabia, in Middle East, in areas where we generally Pakistani companies are working and they are getting projects. I remember the time, okay, when we started our engineering and in ND University in engineering drawing and while learning the surveys, okay, we were used to work with the plan table survey. Then it came to third light and now, everything become obsolete, okay, and now we are working with the differential GPS and with the drone imagery and, all the survey and data. And like, for example, you might be surprised that for K4 project for 110 kilometers, we did all the survey from drones. And the data collected from the drone imagery was centimeter level accuracy. Obviously, we have to build the control point with drone imagery to georeference this by data with this. But then at the end, we will be in a position to get this one. So now this is a transition. The same with, okay, we started with the T set square, the drawings. I think when we started, maybe Shahid also remember, okay, that every office consulting engineer, we do have a big drawing boards, okay, and our draftmen were used to make drawings. Now we switched to the CAD, then from CAD to GIS, and now from CAD and GIS to now we are moving to BIM. And moving to BIM is really a revolution. And not over here in the world also, the world is moving so fast. So many things, they are getting incorporated in the BIM that now we need to be very careful. We need to be very vigilant to learn where the world is going on, how the softwares are coming, how all these things are combined in a cloud environment. In a cloud environment where everybody is sitting in his office. Electrical engineer is making the electric diagrams. Architect is making the architectural planning in his office. And they are working in the same system. So everybody is doing his work, but it is in the same environment, the cloud environment. And that's why everybody can see that whether my electrical lines, my piping lines, they are in conflict with each other or not, okay? They are consistent with each other or not, okay? So this, everybody can work together. So that's why we call it that it is not just a tool, it is a game changer, enabling collaboration and streamlining the entire project lifecycle. And normally, what we say project lifecycle, that in project lifecycle, we start from the basic field surveys, then reconnaissance surveys, then the basic planning, site layout, okay, that how we going to get, make our project okay, where will be our road, where will be our footpath, and where will be other building kind of things, okay. This we do the layout, and then someone comes, okay, who do the design, and everybody. So every step is followed by some previous steps, but then it's gone. Now when the construction is being done, okay, the drawings of layout are somewhere else, okay. Now we do have the construction drawing in front of us. Now when the mechanical engineer team is doing his mechanical works, okay, pipeline works, maybe pumping works, okay. So it means that the whole building is completed, and we see it, okay. We have really faced a number of times that when the mechanical works started, although try our best, okay, to collaborate with the civil engineering teams, that the arrangement which has been made, okay, maybe the pad, maybe the holes, they are not properly aligned with the machinery, equipment, it is arrived. And then, we need to do some changes. It is a standard, okay, generally it happened, okay, in field. But now, from the very first day to the last day, everything is there in the bin. All planning, whatever is being changed, it is changing the layout also. It is changing the basic coordinates also. It is changing the basic, building design, structural architecture. So everything is at one place. And I will show you how it is there. These are here some examples. We can see it over here. That it is not only when we use just call the buildings, we may think of like building like this. No, it is for every work we are doing it, okay, for the especially when like me, okay, people who are infrastructure engineer, who are working on the large infrastructure development, whether they are dams and irrigation and hydropower or water supply or sewage treatment plants. So you can see it over here, okay, that now we are making project like this, okay. In BIM, okay, my whole project will be planned in the very first stage like this, which will ultimately to be taken by the construction contractors. And when we will go further, we'll proceed further, we'll see that not only construction, okay, the construction scheduling, the cost estimation, everything is now can be built in, and it is the opportunity and the modeling approach is there, okay, that it is there. What BIM does, at design stage empowers architects and engineers to create sustainable and efficient structure. Architect gives a very, very beautiful plan, but then structural engineers say, no, it is not possible. Continuity is so big, how can I make it, okay? Your curves are not, viable, okay, it cannot be made like this, and then the changes are there. But then when they are working together at the same platform, in the same cloud environment, so now, they can collaborate a very, a sustainable way. Then it is collaborated with the construction stage, the precision, safety, on-time project delivery, minimizing errors and maximizing efficiency. Minimizing errors is the most important thing which is required at site. When we are doing it at site, and it always happens that coordination, there is a small, gap in the coordination, and we see that now we need to undo some work which has already been done. Now in a BIM, okay, environment where you are working, and every consultant, every contractor, his team, and obviously maybe in Pakistan also, like the consultant were always doing, okay, that they will adopt the new technologies. But or at least when I'm working overseas, okay, it will be easy for me to get it executed. In Pakistan, with the construction industry, I don't know where this will be the time, okay, when I think till date, I'm having a lot of problems, okay, for my contractors and very, very big companies to make the resource loaded work plan in Primavera. So then we can monitor their performance. We can monitor, okay, whether their equipment, their resources, their labor is sufficient for the project or not. And in fact, we need to sit not only with the local contractor, but I came across the Chinese contractor, international contractor, and they had to sit with my planning team, my scheduling team, okay, to prepare their work plan. So this is, we are so behind, now in the world, you know that complete work is being done with the Primavera, with resource loading, you can see each and everything. And now the Primavera is not separate Primavera. Now this is also included in the BIM. This also becomes a part of the BIM. It means, okay, where there are quantities, where there is models, where there are construction, where there are precision, the scheduling is there and the cost is there. So what is the sustainability of the BIM? Embarrassing BIM means embarrassing sustainability. It enables the design and construction of environmentally friendly and energy efficient structures. And as I mentioned earlier, that BIM environment is a collaborative process that uses 3D models and their information to design, build, and manage a project throughout its life cycle. BIM helps improving the communication and quality and streamlining time and cost. How it does, okay? I think I gave you a video. Just have a look on the world of the BIM, building information. When we started with the CAD drawings, these are 2D drawings. There is a facility of 3D to visualize it, okay, to see it, to present it, okay. But that the 3D available in the AutoCAD Studio in the very beginning and AutoCAD 3D, it wasn't having a role in the overall planning and designing. Okay? It was just for the purpose of presentation, rendering, presentation kind of things. But then it included with the 3D, third dimension, and then we went to the GIS, geographical information. We included a lot of database linked with the 2D data and made it in 3D. Now, in BIM, in addition to this 2 and 3D, what we are doing it, okay, we are having, we call it 4th dimension, 4D, the construction schedule, the construction planning, all detail, okay, because from this 3D data drawings, these 3D images, it creates the accurate quantities. The software are nowadays available, okay, those are linked with the BIM, so now you can create, generate accurate quantities, and with your database, we also link with this one, okay, and now everybody knows that AI is changing everything. So with AI, okay, the database over there, it will be, time of really very quick and very fast that whatever you are doing, whenever you do any changes, okay, in terms of cost, in terms of quantities, how it's going to make the impact on your project, on your system, okay. Contractor is suggesting something, okay, let's do it, okay, do it, and immediately okay, whether it is doable or not, okay. Whether it fits in your environment, okay, whether it fits with your other structure, the other architect, whether it fit with your electrical, mechanical, plumbing, everything is there, okay, or it is disturbing everything. So any change can be done, okay. It is showing and reflecting and presenting you with all the impact everywhere, okay. And then the 5th dimension, we call it the cost. After scheduling and planning, okay, so everything is there in the BIM model. And in the BIM, okay, now we start, I will show you in the next one. We use the BIM for design and visualize, improve collaboration between all the designers, all the part of the team, data integration, whatever data is there related to construction, whether it's the realistic data, basic items data, or whether it is the material and specification, everything is there. So it means that when specification are there, okay, and which are related to your design, okay, it means that you can create the bidding document also at the same time, okay. And the very important, the clash detection, which normally happen, okay, that when you are doing, I am just working right now on a very huge, large pumping station for K4 project. And these are two pumping stations. One pumping station will have 6 pumps and motors, 4+2, 4 operator duty and the 2 standby. And every pump and motor will have power of 5.5 megawatt, 5,500 kilowatt for one motor. It means that when a pump in station will be working, it will be consuming, it is requiring 22 megawatt power to pump the water with a head of 220 meter in one pipeline to bring it to 110 kilometer in Karachi. From Kenjal Lake to Karachi is about, the pipeline is 110 kilometer total system. So we will pump with this 22 megawatt power, this one. Now this pumping station is very huge, not only the civil structure, 18 meter below from the ground, and then, you know, about 10 meter above, 7-8 meter above the ground also. From the start, 18 meter below the ground, and then it is about 7 to 8 meters. So the total is about 25 plus meter, the buildings. Now we can see it that in such a one, we have to bring these all motors, their piping, their, you know, connection, their joints, inflows, outflows, are the electrical controls, gantry cranes, everything, okay. It becomes very, very difficult for, you know, 3 different teams, okay. Electrical teams, mechanical teams, civil team, okay. So how we do it, okay. We make it a BIM model, okay. Combine everything at one place. And we do it at one place, okay. Yes, we say, okay, yes, no, there's a problem, okay. My pipe is, you know, having the clash with this window, with this wall. The pipe coming from this side and the other side, okay, they are, you know, clashing. Electrical lines, okay. Okay. So all these clash detection is one of the very, very, you know, useful feature over there for a project like this type, okay. Then the project scheduling is, obviously, I have already discussed, and from scheduling, the next step is the project cost estimation. So in the BIM integration, I showed you that start with the architect, then structure, then fire protection, then mechanical, then electrical, then plumbing. You can see everyone has its own drawings, its own model. But now in this cloud environment, everything is combined. So now I can see it, everything at one place. In my building, where are my, you know, I can make the wall transparent and I can see, okay, how my, you know, electrical system is going, electric wiring is going, my piping is going, my plumbing is going, fire protection system is how is working. So everything, you know, this is the beauty of this BIM. So it means that it starts from the planning, site analysis, then the design, okay, the design authoring, the design reviews, 3D coordinations, structural analysis, lighting analysis, energy analysis, mechanical analysis, and then the construction, okay, the site utilization planning, construction system design, 3D coordination, digital fabrication, we were talking about just a while ago, phase planning, the 4D modeling, cost estimation, and it not end the work of my twin model is not going to end with the completion of construction, a very important thing. It remains active and we can keep my twin model, the digital twin active during the execution also. How the people are behaving inside, how the system is working, what is the performance of my system, okay. Whether my air conditioning system is working properly, it is giving my proper, my fire system is working properly or not, okay. My space allocation is, so during the construction, the execution also, my twin is there, okay. and it is, I can see it, I can visualize it, I can, monitor it, that how my operation and maintenance is going on. Okay. So it means that the BIM start from the planning and it remains active and it remains, useful during the project execution also and the project operation and maintenance period also. So how we are doing it right now? There are a lot of software in the market, okay, and Autodesk, the main authors of the AutoCAD program, okay, they are the one who really took the lead, okay. So Civil 3D, I believe that a number of you may have used it, okay. Now the Revit is the advanced version of Autodesk, okay, for 3D modeling, okay, which directly goes data into the BIM. Then quantity takeoff is also with the, I mentioned over that now this quantity takeoff will also be there in the BIM model. So this is also from Autodesk. Then BIM 360 is the model, okay, which combine all these, okay. And BIM 360 could be on the server and it is more, advisable to be in the cloud environment. Then construction cloud, okay, for the construction planning, ArchiCAD, Graphisoft, Micro. Now these are the all AutoCAD ones, okay. Then there's another component of Autodesk is InfraWorks for the infra station. Then for the navigation of works, okay, which is more comprehensive because BIM 360 is a model of BIM, okay, but then more comprehensive cloud-based model is the Navisworks, okay, Autodesk, and then Vectorworks, okay. Then Oracle has its Primavera, okay, Primavera new versions. They are now very much compatible, workable within the BIM environment. So it means you link them, okay, your whole plan or quantity takeoff from there, your resource planning you can do it based on the quantity takeoff from there, okay, and then you can make the one by one planning how you are going to proceed, okay, which task will be followed by which task, okay, you can do all these things with the Primavera and in the BIM environment. And if you want to use the MS project in place of Primavera, this facility is also there, okay, and the list is very long. And at the same time, okay, in the on the micro station, the Bentley option is there, okay. You might be familiar who are working with the water jam and sewer jams, the Bentley products, okay. So Bentley for the infrastructure, okay, they also create their own, system for BIM, okay. So these are options available, but obviously it is long list, okay. But these Autodesk and AutoCAD, because it is the very, very known and established, okay, in this one. GIS, S3 GIS, okay, they also have their, BIM models, but at the same time, the ArcGIS, which is the S3's ArcGIS, ArcInfo, in fact, it is also can be fully integrated with the Autodesk, because now due to this, huge spectrum of auto, like, we know that Microsoft, okay, took control of everything and all software has to be linked with the Microsoft, okay. The same way over here now, Autodesk has taken the lead, okay. So now Primavera, a very, large Oracle entity, okay, they had to, link their system and make it compatible with the Autodesk, so then it can be imported in the Autodesk. The same way, the ArcGIS, okay, they are also now have made agreement with Autodesk. So in the Autodesk environment, Autodesk, cloud environment, okay, each and everything we can. So and you can see it, okay, that from the architect to the quantity takeoff, different people will be working, but they will be working at the same time in the same environment. And it means that every day everybody knows and the manager knows, okay, that who has done whatever today, okay, and where we are standing today. So this is the BIM spectrum. I just give some example of infrastructure, works, because as I told you, my subject is infrastructure. So flood simulation, you can do it, okay, that when my system will operate, okay, and when the floods will come, okay, how with my design system, it will show me showing that how my flood will be simulated. Then the plan and profile optimization, the drainage system design, and then its performance. I can see it over the traffic simulation, traffic operations, all system can be simulated over here. Okay. This is just a Navisworks is one of the examples of integrated 3D models and prime aware model, okay, for schedule and cost, 4D and CD. So this is in the Navisworks the prime aware is linked over here. So now we are in 2024, where I would say that BIM has started to enter into automation, then digital twins, then generating AI and robotics. Now we are entering on this area, virtual and augmented reality, then 4D and 5D, the cost and planning, okay. Then BIM for sustainability and BIM for prefabrication. So this is the trend is to 2024, and these trends are growing and growing every day. So it means that, and what I suggest, okay, for my friends in consulting industry, that now it is time to invest in BIM, okay. Have the training of your team, okay, to get and to spend some on this software, okay. So then we should be able to compete with the world. In Pakistan, whatever construction industry is doing, okay, if we are just want to keep it ourselves with the Pakistan, I don't know how much the construction industry is going to adjust themselves, okay. It might take a long, okay, but the consultant who are working overseas, okay, I will advise them, okay, that they should spend on money, that they should invest some on the BIM, learning of BIM, training on BIM, and then software purchase and licensing on this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wonderful simulation program. We are open for questions. Dr. Lakhani.
मेरा नाम जलाल है, मैं कंस्ट्रक्शन से प्रभावित था। हमारे आधुनिक आप प्रोग्राम वगैरह जो यूज कर रहे हैं वो सिर्फ शेड्यूलिंग के लिए कॉस्ट एनालिसिस तो किसी को पता ही नहीं किस तरह करनी है, कैसे ये होता है।
मैंने कहा ना कि आई केम अक्रॉस द सेम सिचुएशन कि अभी भी पाकिस्तान के जो अच्छे बड़े कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स भी इनफैक्ट और इनफैक्ट मेरे साथ चाइनीज कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स भी काम कर रहे हैं, उन्हें प्राइम अवेरा पे अपना वर्क प्लान बनाना, शेड्यूल बनाना नहीं आता। वो मेरे इंजीनियर्स के साथ बैठकर उनको बनवा के दिया है, जबकि लाजिम आते कि हाँ, अब ये है बदकिस्मती हमारी। नहीं, शेड्यूल वो लाइनों का नाम नहीं है ना, रिसोर्स स्टोरिंग से कहते हैं ना कि क्या जी
रिसोर्स भी चले कर लेंगे, देखिए एनालिसिस किस बेस पे करेंगे।
ये
एनालिसिस के लिए हमें स्टैंडर्ड रेट चाहिए जी, बिल्कुल। और हमारे जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर बढ़ते हैं वो मार्केट रेट बढ़ते हैं, वो स्टैंडर्ड नहीं बनते। ये हमारा सबसे बड़ा तरीक है।
नहीं, आपने ठीक है। अगर हमारी कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री तो रियली वाकई मतलब जिस रुख पे चली गई है, और हमारे यहाँ जो करप्शन का जो मामला है, मतलब उसने सिर्फ कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री को नहीं, और बदकिस्मती से अब तो कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर इंडस्ट्री को भी हिट कर दिया है, और मजबूर कर रही है, क्या कहते हैं, हमारी तरह बेशुमार कंसल्टेंट को कि यार बेहतर है कि पाकिस्तान के बाहर काम ढूंढा जाए। सीधी बात है, इसलिए कि अगर कंसल्टेंट से भी जो है अगर वो पैसे मांगने शुरू कर दिए जाए, क्या कहते हैं कि बगैर पैसे को काम नहीं मिलेगा, क्या होगा फिर। और कंस्ट्रक्शन में तो माशाल्लाह ये चीज़ें चल ही रही थी पहले भी, और उसका नतीजा ये है कि जो हमारे यहाँ प्रोफेशनल और कॉर्पोरेट, यानी शायद एक डेस्कॉन किसी हद तक सर्वाइव कर रही है। मुझे इसके अलावा तो मुझे कोई नजर नहीं आती जिसमें कॉर्पोरेट, वो तो एक ही सेठ साहब का, जो शायद खुद भी इंजीनियर नहीं है, पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है, लेकिन वो एक पैसे लगाना जानता है और पैसे खिलाना जानता है, बस वो है कंपनी का मालिक हो। आप देख लें पाकिस्तान की जो बड़ी बड़ी 4-6 कंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनीज हैं, तो ये बहुत सीरियस चैलेंज है हमारे लिए। मैंने कहा ना कि हम हमारे लिए भी और कंसल्टिंग सेक्टर्स के लिए भी, कि जैसे शाहिद साहब ने कहा, क्या कहते हैं कि नाउ द कंसल्टेंट लाइक अस, ओके, वेरी फ्यू रियली हु वर फोकसिंग ऑन द क्वालिटी। एंड I remember, when I went in 1991 in Pakistan, USA. So my advisor was surprised to meet me and see me that I have seen the first person from a underdeveloped countries, okay, who knows the computers and who knows some software. And I was having very clear mind. This was because of my consulting company, okay. It was not my, okay, because in जब हमने एनईडी से कंप्लीट किया तो हमारे कंप्यूटर भी आया नहीं था उसको एनईडी में। एनईडी के बाद ही ऑफिस में जाके हमने कंप्यूटर भी देखा और सारी चीजें भी लर्न की। लेकिन ये कि कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर बिजनेस ने हमेशा अपने आप को टॉप ऑफ द लाइन रखा है इंटरनेशनल मार्केटिंग के साथ, और आज भी हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं। लेकिन क्या जो जो दूसरे कंसल्टेंट जो आ रहे हैं, जो दूसरे जराए इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं हमारे दोस्त अहबाब, तो क्या वो हमारे रास्ता मजीद छोड़ेंगे आइंदा, या आइंदा रिवायत बाकी रहेगी, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता। जी जी,
कंप्यूटर का ताल्लुक बेसिकली जो इंजीनियर्स को कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है कि कॉस्ट एनालिसिस करनी कैसे और उसकी बेस क्या है।
इंजीनियर्स को कॉन्सेप्ट तो है ऐसी बात, जहाँ जहाँ इस कॉन्सेप्ट का इस्तेमाल किया। लेकिन मेरे पास मैं आपको एग्जांपल दूँ, मसलन K4 प्रोजेक्ट है, हमने उसका जब PC1 बनाया तो PC1 के मुताबिक 100 बिलियन उसके वर्ष की कॉस्ट थी। और ये हुआ है 21-22 में, जो पाकिस्तान में जो हुकूमत तब्दील हुई और जो सुल्तान हुई, जो बहुत ही खौफनाक अचानक इन्फ्लेशन शुरू हो गया। उस सब के बावजूद भी जब सारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, मेरे 8 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अवार्ड हो गए, तो उसकी कॉस्ट 115 बिलियन थी। इसका मतलब ये कि हमारी टीमों ने बहुत अच्छा कॉस्ट एनालिसिस किया, तो मार्केट के रेट लिए, और तरीके जो बिड्स आए उसके बिल्कुल करीब करीब आए सारी के। और इसमें भी शायद ये एक आध कॉन्ट्रैक्टर जो थोड़ा देर से दिए गए 6-8 महीने के बाद, तो जिससे जो फर्क पड़ा कॉस्ट होना, शायद बाकी तो 7-8% सारे अंदर थे। तो इसलिए जहाँ लोग मेहनत करते हैं, जहाँ कोशिश करते हैं, टूल्स मौजूद है सारे के सारे, तो वो फायदेमंद होते हैं। लेकिन जहाँ लाजिम बात है कि तवज्जो किसी और चीज में होती है, तो फिर बाकी ये भी रेट एनालिसिस है ना, कि जब मैं ब्रेक डाउन करूंगा उसके बाद और फिर देखूंगा क्या था। तो मेरे पास फर्स्ट के लिए डेटाबेस एक पूरा मौजूद है कि जी इस वक्त जो है स्टील की कॉस्ट क्या कहते हैं, हमारे कॉन्ट्रैक्टर क्या कोट कर रहे हैं, ठीक है ना। और आपको पता है कि पिछले 3 साल में जो है कॉस्ट में कितना बड़ा फर्क पड़ा है चीजों में, यानी 70-80% सिर्फ 3 साल में मेरा ख्याल है हमारी इन्फ्लेशन 70-80% हुई है। तो कहाँ से सर्वाइव करेंगे फिर। तो चीज कंपटीशन तो हमेशा रहेगा, लाजिम है, कहीं भी हो, चाहे यहाँ हो या अमेरिका हो, यूरोप में हो। एवरीवन इज हियर टू अर्न मनी, क्या कहते हैं ना बिजनेस में, अपना मार्जिन रखने के लिए। जी,
Thank you. Any other question, please? Yes. Gulam, how many institutions do you have in P4? जी मैं मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर हूँ, सिविल, लेकिन आपको समझ लिया।
थैंक यू। आपने क्या फरमाया, कितने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? पंपिंग स्टेशन, वी डू हैव 2 pumping station in K4. The whole K4 design is a modular design. It means that one pumping station with one pipeline, one pumping station with 4+2 pumps. As I mentioned, each pump is 5,500 kilowatts, so it means that one pumping station is going to work with a 22 kilowatt, 22,000 kilowatt or 22 megawatt. And this will be connected with a 184-inch dia pipe, MS pipe with 17 millimeter thick wall, okay, and outside polyethylene lining, inside cement lining. And so this is one right now, and this is whole planning is for 650 megawatt okay, MGD. And this one system is 130 MGD. So right now, because we got the approval for 260, so we are constructing 2 pumping station, 2 pipeline. But whenever we need to increase it, okay, we just have to replicate it, okay. One more similar, the third, fourth, so 3 more will be equal to 650. Right now, we are constructing 2 pipeline and 2 pumping stations.
I mean, could you explain the internal conflict lining of those parts? So actually, I mean, it's under high pressure. So how those conflict lining stand with high pressure? What are the techniques, epoxy or whatever? I mean, can you describe it to me?
The pipeline, once the water is running in the pipeline, the pressure is everywhere, okay. It is actually, keeping it uniform, okay. It's very simple, 13 millimeter, no need of any epoxy. The execution is very important. You need to keep it hydrated, do the curing during till the time it start operating. And we keep it, about whatever lining is completed, we keep it close on both sides, and we keep it about a feet water level inside it. Okay, and we have to maintain it. Okay, till the time it's going to start it and water is start to flow. Once the water start flowing, okay, we are not going to keep it dry. Okay, this cannot sustain in any dry environment. So we need to keep it wet throughout. Okay. And so that's why we are doing it. And based on my experience, the K3, okay, we did lining with other projects, okay, where we follow this one, okay, without any adhesive, just simple 12 millimeter, 3 mm line, which is done with the a special spray machine, okay, which comes, okay, rotating sprayer, okay, which is moving inside the pipeline, okay, and this pipeline is luckily so big, okay, that everybody can travel in it, okay. So what we do, okay, we do the 400, 500 meter section at once, okay, in one day, continuous operation, and then we come back, close it, okay, from both ends, keep the water inside, so then the cement curing is going on. Okay. This is the way we do it. Okay. Maybe sometimes you can visit it, okay, see it. Exactly.
I have a feeling that because of head losses, there will be differential equation.
Yes.
And it will be linear differential equation. So some kind of epoxy treatment might be necessary. This is my feeling.
But based on our experience, we don't think so that there is any need, because in all the previous project and we see the literature. Okay. मतलब K3 project में किए में आज तक फर्स्ट क्लास चल रही है. K3 जो थी उसमें दोनों चीजें थी, उसमें कंड्यूट भी थे जी, कंड्यूट आखिर में आते हैं. शुरू में कैनाल है, उसके बाद फिर कंड्यूट है, जो घरों से लेकर दाबेजी कंड्यूट है, फिर दाबेजी के बाद जो है फिर सारी पाइप्स हैं. दाबेजी पहली तो राइजिंग मैन है, जो दाबेजी से 4 जाती है 6.8 किलोमीटर, तो वो 72 इंच की जो है वो K2 के जमाने के भी है, K3 भी है, और आज तक भी जो है अभी भी रिसेंटली रिप्लेस हुई है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ, अल्लाह का शुक्र है. इसी तरह की लाइनिंग उसके अंदर की गई, और इसके अलावा शेड के बीच में भी कुछ लाइन है जी.
We have really appreciate Dr. Lakhani. Great. We've learned a lot. Thank you so much for spending time from your busy schedule. You yourself, Dr. Shahid, and now we have our Descon friends come back again. Atif Saab, if you have proof, and thank you very much.
Yes, great. Let me put it in presentation mode. Okay.
We can hear consulting engineers, catalysts for innovation in construction industry. Over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. So first of all, apologies once again for this technical glitch. And now today, the objectives of this session, we have to clarify the pivotal functions and responsibilities of consulting engineers and showcase how consulting engineers drive the adaptation of sustainable construction, and to demonstrate consulting engineers' proficiency in marketing, in mitigating risks effectively, and to examine how consulting engineers anticipate and adapt to emerging industry trends. So these are the things that we are going to discuss, and in the previous presentation where I was present, so there was a lot being discussed, and I also touched upon ESG and how we can implement that, what's the importance in a very short time. So first thing that I would like to share is that I see the consulting engineer as a bridge between the client and the contractor. Why? Because client have their deliverables and the contractor have their deliverables. And it's the consulting engineer company that can bridge the gap between the two deliverables and then make the things more clear. So what are the challenges of modern construction? First of all, the projects are very fast-paced, and the cost management definitely is a challenge, especially in our part of the world where economy is very volatile. And then there is some integration, technical integration. Risk management is definitely, it needs to be more proactive and more effective in these times. Environment, health and safety, that is definitely a part which is more needed in Pakistan and this part of the globe. QA/QC compliances that are very much needed. So these are the things which are modern day challenges, and we need to be ready for those challenges, and taking the engineer, the consulting engineer as a leader, we expect that there is a pivotal role from the consulting engineer, and that's what we are going to discuss. So amidst increasing demand for innovation, how do consulting engineers foster a culture of creativity and continuous improvement within construction projects? So this is the question that we are going to find the answer together. So please stay with me, please bear with me, and please keep on thinking about that. That's what we are going to arrive today. So first of all, the value of ESG in our industry, that's very important. And environment, social, and governance, these are the most important factors that we need to see. And we definitely, I cannot explain all that. Most of you are already very much aware of that. So please go through that and see how the consulting engineers can help, can support, can build a culture where these things are incorporated in the construction industry. Coming towards environment, health, and safety. So what we see is that these are the things which we need to. So is the presentation clear to you?
Yes, yes.
It's there again. There's a glitch on my side. So talking about the environment, health, and safety. So in an industry, definitely where we need to work on that a lot. The first thing is that implement cost-effective HSC solution. This is the first point that we need to work on. Of course, bringing in very stringent HSC requirements, we will not be able to meet those challenges. And definitely, the consulting engineers are the people who can bring those smart solutions to the construction industry. We have to innovate within budget constraints, and continuously monitor and improve the system. That is the second thing. And highlight the long-term financial benefits of robust EHS practices, and then integrate EHS into project planning from the very beginning. When a consulting engineer plans a project, or a contracting agency plans a project, or a client plans a project, a sponsor plans a project. So it needs to be incorporated from day one. And then we have to promote a culture of safety and educate all the stakeholders. So that's, as a leader, we expect the consulting engineers to take proactive steps in all these rights. So talking about the Descon, what we do is that, first of all, we have a stop work authority. Anyone can stop the work if it is unsafe. It's not with EHS engineers or with supervisors or anyone. Anyone can stop. Anyone can stop. These are just toolbox talks that we conduct every day. Most of the agencies, the consulting engineers promote that, but how much it is implemented, this is a question mark, and we need to work on that culture. If I talk about myself, I have a personal leadership plan you can see on the screen. I have to take ownership of HSC policy. I have to demonstrate the commitment. I have to work on problem solving. I have to take care and concern, self-awareness, and conduct HSC meetings. So there are parameters which I need to fulfill, and these are my KPIs. I have to do it anyway. Now coming towards risk management in construction industry. So of course, there are opportunities and threats and industry where challenges, where there are so many challenges and unforeseen things. So risks are always unforeseen, always in future. So we don't have only threats when we talk about risks, but we have opportunities as well. And that's what we have to watch. So how consulting engineers can add value to risk management. So these are the things, this is a food for thought for you all. Most of you are already working on that. But the purpose of this slide is just to see whether all these things are being done. Risk identification and assessment, risk mitigation and planning, regulatory compliances, project monitoring and control, stakeholder communication, crisis management and contingency planning. So definitely we have to work on all these parameters to confirm, to ensure that the value is being added in terms of risk management. So that's what we also expect, that the consulting engineers will take the lead, because of course, if these things are a part of the contract, these things are a part of the project, definitely these will be respected from the client's end as well as the contractors. This is what we have a model for risk management implementation. That's what we follow in Descon again. So you see that the enterprise risk management framework is there, and then how to implement the risk management plans, and then oversight, and then continuous improvement. This is the culture that is implemented, and everyone has to go by that. So what we see in our part of the globe, that there are prevalent risk cultures in these countries, that we have a reactive approach and we are not showing opportunities fully. We have a fear of performance exposure, and taking risk exercise as an add-on. We take it like that. So what's the desired culture? As you see, that we have to be proactive, not just in construction industry, not everywhere in our life, we have to be proactive. We have to think about the risks that exist in our life, on the road, everywhere, and we have to mitigate those risks. We have to go with an open communication, talking about those risks with everyone, whether it be the consulting engineer, the client, the contractor. So there should be an open communication between them, that what are our risks and how are we going to respond to those risks. And the decision-making has to be risk-based, and risk management must be embedded in the company processes, not just for a single project, but it has to be there in the company. So what I expect, again, that if this exercise is continued and we keep on working, the client side, the contractor side, and of course, the leader, the consulting engineer, works on that and ensures that it is implemented on every end. So definitely the things will start improving. And I would say that the bite-size approach will work, not whole on the day one. So if we start implementing that, there has to be a great end to that thing. This is a format of the risk register that we use in Descon, and you see that there are low, medium, and high risks. So definitely risk identification, and then risk analysis, risk responses, risk monitoring. These are all being done. Of course, this is a cycle, and we start when we submit a bid, we evaluate what are the risks and opportunities and threats both, and then definitely we keep on updating that in the life cycle of that project, that construction life cycle, and we keep on monitoring and risk response. This is the software that we are using. This is PROACT, and what you see is that what we do, that there are key risks indicators and action plans and lessons learned and COPQ. So what is that COPQ? Most of you are already aware, but I'll definitely go by that, so that those who are not very much aware of that, this is for the benefit of those. So this is a library right in front of you. So red is the threat, and there are in the library, there are threats like rework on account of natural calamity and what is going to be the response. So that is all in the library. And besides that, there's an opportunity that has been shown in the green, that government authorities, if they give some relaxation, which is very rare, but definitely it happens sometimes, and then what is going to happen? So these are opportunities and threats both, which are being updated in PROACT. That is the software and tool which we are using in Descon. So QA, QC, regulatory, these are the things that we are going to now discuss. So in this time, when we have to go by the regulatory compliances, regulatory strategic development, risk mitigation, and strategic planning, training, education, crisis management, stakeholder communication. So these are the roles of consultants in navigating regulatory landscapes, in my opinion. So definitely they are playing their part, but it can definitely, there's a room for improvement. And I'm not just talking about the top of the line consultants who have all these things, all that education for their teams, but I'm also talking about the people who are not yet so much developed, and we have to take that message to them, and we have to get these things implemented there as well. I was talking about the cost of poor quality, COPQ. So what happens is that the things which are catered are internal failure costs, external failure costs, prevention costs, inspection costs. And what comes out from that is that there is increased project cost as of cost of poor quality, and then delays and extended project timelines and damage due to reputation and client trust. So this all happens when there is a cost of poor quality involved. So what happens is that it is not that there is something that has gone wrong and we have just demolished it, we have rebuilt it. So that's the cost we have incurred. No, it's not only that. The cost of poor quality involves that if there's a delay in issuance of drawings, if there's a lack of planning, if there is something missing in the execution, if there is some lapse in QA/QC. So if anything contributes towards that cost, so that is the cost of poor quality. So that's what we account for. Now, how in Descon we deal with that, I'll show you that. So first of all, this is an example of ProAct, which is the tool we are using. That is a cost of meager cost of 133,000 Pak rupees. And why it happened that there was a conflict between the services and a little bit of rework had to be done for that. So this is a cost that you see that there's a medium impact, quantitative impact is given, and that was deemed as controllable. So we put all these things in ProAct and we just keep on tracking and monitoring these things and derive the lessons learned so that the things are not repeated in the future. This is another example where the cost was very meager and that's not involved there. But the site management failed to apply the Descon QA/QC policy, resulting in poor quality equipment and lighting pole foundation being poured with misaligned anchor bolts. So that was being done. So that was tracked at that time, and it didn't have a cost impact, but it was recorded so that we can derive the lessons learned and put that things in place for the future activities. So how the consulting engineers ignite a paradigm shift towards green construction, making sustainability the new standard. So this is already a lot of work is being done on that. And of course, as I said, that many of the people from our consulting engineers, they are working on that very well. This is highly appreciable. But what we need to do is that we need to take these things to those people, those consulting engineers who are not very much working on that, who are not very much aware of that. And again, I would insist on that take a bite-sized approach. Don't think that all the things are going to happen on day one. What we need to do is that we need to take it step by step, put one thing in a project or two things in a project, and then keep on increasing and bring that culture where we see sustainable buildings, sustainable construction everywhere. So there are a lot of things that are being done that already, as I said, that energy modeling, implementation and management, navigating standards and material selection. So these things are being done. But what we need to do is that we need to ensure that it is implemented everywhere, countrywide it is implemented, and we start working very seriously on these factors. That was a very interesting thing that I went through. It's ASBP, an organization based in UK, and they give their awards. But what I was really impressed that they have added that social value, ethics, and transparency in these qualifying factors. So which is very impressive, and we see that we need to bring these things to our construction industry as well. So of course, again, I would say that the leaders are the consulting engineers, and they can do a lot as compared to the contracting side or the client side. So if they bring these things in the contract, so definitely things are going to change. And coming towards the innovation technologies in construction. So in the previous presentations, I saw great presentations on that. And yes, this is the need of the hour, and we need to work on that. So first of all, the BIM, of course, a lot of work is already being done, 3D, 4D, 5D modeling, and a lot of work. But of course, there's a long way to go still in this site, and we need to work on that and bring BIM on all the projects that we are doing. Advanced materials and techniques, green building materials that, of course, I already mentioned, and 3D printing that we were just seeing, as I mentioned, that in the previous presentations, it was discussed at length. Internet of Things like drone cameras were also mentioned earlier, and then smart construction, real-time monitoring and control. These are the things which can really change the scenarios. Of course, our controls, our supervision, these things can go sky high if we adopt these things. Robotics and automation, yes, of course, there's a long way to go. we can do a lot of things in mechanical construction, in civil construction, everywhere, in electrical, everywhere we have a lot of room for robotics and automation. And artificial intelligence and innovations, yes, there is again, there is a lot of room for improvement in this area as well. Smart project management can be done. A very good contract management can be done through AI. A lot of things can be done, and we need to explore more and implement more with all these factors. So I would say that by continuously adapting to new technologies and practices, consulting engineers can not only meet but exceed the expectations of modern construction and ensuring a safer, more efficient and sustainable built environment. So just summarizing what I said, that promoting a safe environment and working culture, that can be done. Okay, so just summing up with all that, I would say that we have to promote safe working environment and culture. We have to ensure integration of risk management is done. We have to master QA/QC, minimizing COPQ and leveraging lessons learned. We have to promote sustainable practices and foster collaboration and continuous improvement. So these are the things that we need to do. And with this, I'll just stop sharing my, and now we can come towards the comments. I have been quite quick in running through the presentation because there was a technical glitch earlier, and definitely I had a short time because I was told that we have to end up quite on time. So yes, if there are any questions, any comments, I'll love to answer that.
It was a wonderful presentation. Just a comment, ये हम कुछ बहुत लाइट हो गई थी प्रेजेंटेशन के अंदर, लिखा हुआ था और थोड़ा सा लाइट कर रहा था, तो हम चाहेंगे अगर आप थोड़ा सा उसको उसमें चीज पीछे डाल दे ताकि वो ज्यादा रीडेबल हो. बहुत अच्छी प्रेजेंटेशन थी. We really appreciate your effort, taking your time and again glitches के बावजूद दोबारा आना, वो आपकी हिम्मत बनाता है कि आपने definitely हम लोगों को educate करना था. Thank you so much. We are open to questions. If you have any questions, gentlemen, आपने जरूर करना है. नहीं छोड़ दिया जवाब. अच्छा डॉक्टर साहब, मैं आपको छोड़ दिया एकदम सवाल करने से. मैं सिर्फ आपसे ये 3 सवाल थे आपके अलावा बाकी सब हजरात से. पहला सवाल ये है कि आपने किस यूनिवर्सिटी को इन्वॉल्व किया हुआ है फॉर डेवलपिंग प्रोग्राम फॉर यू? क्या आपने किसी यूनिवर्सिटी को इन्वॉल्व किया हुआ है टू डेवलप अ कंप्यूटर प्रोग्राम फिल्म के लिए या किसी भी चीज के लिए? आतिफ
जी, इसमें SIG के नॉट येट अ यूनिवर्सिटी बट आई एम एज अ प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट प्रोफेशनल. तो हमारे जो PMI के जो प्रेसिडेंट हैं डॉक्टर खालिद इकबाल खान, वो AI के अंदर ही हैज़ डन अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क. सो आई हैव कनेक्शन विद हिम. मैं उनके साथ कनेक्टेड रहता हूँ. एंड डेफिनेटली व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज दैट वी आर वर्किंग ऑन bringing these new things to new technologies, new project management practices to the construction industry.
नहीं, मैं सवाल का जवाब थोड़ा सा आप थोड़ा डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन ले गए. मैं ये कह रहा था कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर NED है, UIT लाहौर है, पिशावर यूनिवर्सिटी है, सिविल इंजीनियरिंग के लोग हैं, कंस्ट्रक्शन मैनेजमेंट लोग हैं. क्या आपने किसी यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर प्रोजेक्ट किया हुआ है कि भाई हमारे लिए भी कुछ प्रोजेक्ट, कोई कंप्यूटर प्रोजेक्ट BIM का या किसी चीज का डेवलप करें?
आई एम सॉरी, मतलब आप थोड़ी सी आवाज का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है. यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ कोलैबोरेट करने की आप बात कर रहे हैं रिगार्डिंग दैट?
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर्स यूनिवर्सिटीज को स्ट्रेंथन करें by promoting development of your programs through the universities. क्या आपने ये किया है?
नहीं, not yet जी, not yet.
Kindly आपसे दरख्वास्त है, आपके अलावा डॉक्टर यहाँ से आवाज नहीं आ रही? Okay.
तो आप जाएंगे, आपको नीचे दो नजर नहीं आ.
अच्छा. मैं अब आ रहा सामने. देखिए ऐसा है कि पहला सवाल जो मैं आप प्रोग्रामर्स प्रेजेंटर्स है कि आपका पहले शुक्रिया कि आपने बहुत टाइम निकाला. यू कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर्स एंड कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर्स टाइम नहीं देते, तो हम सब आपका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहते हैं. यस, दैट्स व्हाट यू डू. राइट ना, अब मैं आपसे जो सवाल है वो ये है कि क्या हम किसी चीज में कमजोरी तो नहीं रहेगी पाकिस्तान के अंदर कि हमने एक भी प्रोग्राम या सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप नहीं किया हुआ इन पाकिस्तान, और हमने इंजीनियर्स को इस्तेमाल नहीं किया हुआ और स्टूडेंट्स को। फर्स्ट ईयर में जो इंजीनियर आता है सिविल इंजीनियरिंग के अंदर, आपको उसको उसी वक्त से अपने सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट में इन्वॉल्व करना चाहिए, बाद में उसको एम्प्लॉय भी कर लें अगर आप चाहें, अच्छा है तो। क्या आप में से किसी एक ने? यस यस।
We are working in a system, and it's a very tight system. I mean, people talk of industry and university collaboration, blah, 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 and so many things. Why industry doesn't support university and so on. Then we have to see that how much margin is there in the industry. For instance, in consultancy, no margin at all. We work on zakat. Our fee is 2%, which is less than zakat. In that zakat, what can you do? So you yearly meet your expenses, your salary requirement and work. So funding a university is out of question.
No, Dr. Saab.
So no. I mean, engaging students, yes, we do engage students. They come to us for internship, but that's a very, very short term. Within 15 days, you don't, in 1 month, you won't do it. It's a long-term commitment. So the students will not come to us in first year and will not stay with us for 4 years for internship, because they come to our places just to fulfill their requirements. So that system is not like that.
डॉक्टर साहब देखिए, मैं सॉरी, मैं आई बेग टू डिफर फ्रॉम यू। हमने यूनिवर्सिटीज को स्ट्रेंथन करना है डॉक्टर साहब। 25-75 साल में हमने यूनिवर्सिटीज को स्ट्रेंथन नहीं किया हुआ। मेरा कहने का मतलब टोटल ये है कि आप ना पे करें, आप बेशक स्टूडेंट्स को ना पे करें। मैं तो ये कह रहा हूँ, आप स्टूडेंट्स अपने प्रोजेक्ट यूनिवर्सिटी के फैकल्टी को बताएं कि भाई हम बिम पे काम कर रहे हैं। आप अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी के स्टूडेंट्स को बिम पे काम कराना शुरू करें, ताकि वो सब्सिक्वेंटली आके जब हमारे पास आए तो बिम पे तैयार हो, फौरन एकदम हम उनको अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। हुआ क्या है कि कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर्स हु आर टॉप ऑफ द लाइन लाइक यू, एनआईटी से डिस्कनेक्टेड है फ्रॉम सिविल इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट, आप उनको बताएं कि भाई ये एरियाज हैं जहां पे हमें स्टूडेंट चाहिए इन फ्यूचर, सिर्फ बता दें आप, फैकल्टी का एडवाइजर खुद करेगा। यू डोंट नीड टू फंड, आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू शुड फंड। अगर आप पास पैसा आ गया तो जरूर फंड कीजिए, लेकिन अगर पैसा नहीं है तो क्या आप यूनिवर्सिटीज को छोड़ देंगे?
मतलब यही पे आ रहा है कि यूनिवर्सिटीज के जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो एक सर्टेन टाइम को आ सकते हैं, मगर वो लॉन्ग टर्म नहीं आ सकते।
डॉक्टर साहब आने की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं आपसे, प्लीज, मैं आने की बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूँ डॉक्टर साहब जी।
वो आ भी सकते हैं। फाइनल ईयर डिजाइन प्रोजेक्ट 1 साल का होता है, उसमें आप एक्चुअली मॉडल इन टाइम सपोर्ट कंसल्टेंट की तरफ से स्टूडेंट्स को मिले, ताकि प्रोजेक्ट में उन्हें पता चले कि फिर अभी वर्ल्ड क्या हो रहा है।
Okay, I will take this opportunity. Okay, let's come up with this idea on this forum. How, I mean, we can consultant, because we are talking of consultant.
Four of you are here.
Yeah. Let's talk of, okay, let's talk of this idea. How we can coordinate. I mean, for instance, Mr. Irfan, he is from, from a very, very rich organization.
Descon.
Descon, okay? So he can play his role, but we can coordinate and 2-3 things like drones and AI, IoT. We can coordinate, and please come up with this idea.
Right, okay.
From PAE per platform.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, being the secretary of PAE, you come up with some idea, we will support.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Shahid. Dr. Shahid, thank you very much. अभी देखें आइडिया में मेरे सिर्फ आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करने में आपने इतनी जबरदस्त आइडिया पेश कर दिया। डॉक्टर लखानी, फिर आप कर लीजिएगा। माइक माइक ऑन कर दीजिए।
The time available with the student is now generally so limited. I think कोई बहुत वायबल नहीं हो पाता कि जी उनसे तो बड़ा हम आदमी एक ट्रेनिंग करने हो सके आदमी, लेकिन हाँ what we are doing it right now outside the council एक नया निकाला है कि न्यूट्रिशन यूनिवर्सिटी का इंटर्नशिप जिसमें भी कुछ नहीं करता वो हम भी करते हैं। और इसमें हमारा अलग अब तक होगा जितने इसमें आए हैं सब चीज करती है उसमें एक साल में जो उसमें जो उसमें और हमने डिप्लॉय किया है और हमने वो टास्क पे लगाया इसी उस पर लगाया है कि we can find someone को कहते हैं कि तो ट्रेन हो जाएंगे कुछ डीलिंग वाक्य मालूम हो जाएंगे उनकी एप्टीट्यूड उनका स्टाइल मालूम हो जाएगा कि वो इंडस्ट्री में फिर हो सकते हैं और में से कम से कम 50% हमारे एडजस्ट हो गए। इसलिए क्या कहते हैं कि हम लोग कोशिश और हकीकत ये क्या कहते हैं कि डूम या इस तरह की जो नई चीजें हैं उनमें इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए हमारे समय मुझे भी नहीं है लेकिन मुझे इन्वेस्ट करना है, मुझे टीम तैयार करनी तो उसके लिए हम कर ही नहीं रहे हैं। इसमें जो नए बच्चे हमारे पास स्कूल जो आ रहे हैं तो हम उनको एग्जैक्ट कर रहे हैं देख भी नहीं कहते कि मुझे कितने स्कूल ऐसे हैं वो समझने को और उसके बिल्डिंग वर्कर को और चाहते हैं जो
जी थैंक यू बिकॉज
So I am Dr. Irfan, and previously I was attending nurse for 20 years. My previous service is with the police department, and nowadays I am with University of Karachi in space science and technology department. अच्छा अब क्वेश्चन ये कि we should have a balance. अभी हमने डॉक्टर शाहिद को बिल्कुल ही व्यक्त कर दिया, तो there should be a balance कि भी मशीन भी में क्या कर रही है, उनके भी इनिशिएटिव लाने चाहिए, वो अपनी साथ ब्रेक करें इंडस्ट्री को या कंसल्टिंग फर्म्स को और उनके साथ डिस्कस करें कि भाई हमारी ये रिक्वायरमेंट है और हम उसको ऐसे डिप्लॉय कर सकते हैं। इंटर्नशिप इज वन ऑफ दी फैक्टर जो कि लिमिटेड टाइम का है, ठीक है। तो हमने रेज किया ऐसा भी फाइनल प्रोजेक्ट होता है जो कि 2 सेमेस्टर का, तो इसमें हम जब तक हम निगोशिएट नहीं करेंगे ना और किसी से बातचीत नहीं करेंगे उस वक्त तक कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं बनेगा, ठीक। और दोनों एंड पे थोड़ी थोड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले ली जाए तो फिर ये है चल जाएगा। इंडस्ट्री का एक प्रॉब्लम है जो अक्सर डिस्कस हुआ कि इंडस्ट्री के पास जो प्रोजेक्ट होते हैं वो डिलीवरेबल टाइम होते हैं, शेड्यूल्स होते हैं, अब वो वेट नहीं कर सकते हैं। कोई स्टूडेंट इनमेच्योर पार्टी को लेके और उसको काम दे के और उसको फाइनलाइज करे, वो विद इन डेट और सारा कुछ करें। अच्छा फिर एक शिकायत उनकी ये होती है कि हम इनको ट्रेन करते हैं उसके बाद ये किसी भी वक्त प्लेटफॉर्म छोड़ के चले जाए, बेटर अपॉर्चुनिटी ढूंढते हैं ये मतलब एक साइड का नहीं है, मतलब दोनों साइड को ऑपरेट करना है और करिकुलम को भी थोड़ा सा देखा जाए कि भाई वो नई रिक्वायरमेंट नई करंट रिक्वायरमेंट्स।
डॉक्टर साहब आपने मेरी सारी मेहनत पे पानी फेर दिया। मैं तो दोनों तीनों को पकड़ रहा था कि अभी BIM किसी यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर पूरा सीट बन जाए। What I'm saying, please let me. What I would suggest to all 3 or 4 of you consultants, actually 3 so यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं, इरफान जी एक में मैं ये चाहूंगा कि इन तीनों में से जो आपने सारी प्रेजेंटेशन में दिखाई, मुझे BIM ऐसी चीज नजर आई जिसके ऊपर यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर अगर आप सीट बना दें एक सारे कंसल्टिंग इंजीनियर मिलके BIM पे हर NAD यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर वी आर स्टार्टिंग सीट ऑफ लर्निंग या फास्ट में लगा दें सीट ऑफ लर्निंग कि जी हम एक यूनिवर्सिटी शुरू करें, आप NAD ग्रेजुएट है, आप भी NAD ग्रेजुएट है, प्रेफर NAD, अदरवाइज इट शुड बी योर चॉइस, राइट। एक सीट ऑफ लर्निंग ऑन BIM क्रिएट कर दीजिए for next 5 years, 10 years, if you see that BIM is going to be stay there for next 5 to 10 years. और वो जो seat of learning है, वहां से जो student निकलेगा, वो आपके लिए तैयार होगा बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. This is what I'm saying. जी please, doctor.
I should, clarify. Actually, I'm a member of Board of Studies of Sufa University, and I know there is a program in Sufa University. They are teaching BIM in Sufa University, and I'm sure it must be there in NAD University also. That's not an issue. I mean, the thing is that whatever is being taught over here, that should be applied to consultancy and the real one. So the coordination is required. So a seamless interface is required. That is what we are talking about. I mean, when I should not sound a bit skeptical, but there is something. I mean, you see, whatever is being taught in the universities, then the students are taught in the university. When they come to industry, when they come to consultancy, I mean, they are not ready for that. That growth. We have to groom them for that. Yes. For 2-3 years, those students we are just getting them. Right. They are not useful for us. And unfortunately, as it has been pointed out, for 2-3 years, we invest on them. And what happens after? They leave. They find a job. Because we have a better opportunity, sir, very majboor. Sometimes ask them, have you ever thought कि मेरी क्या मजबूरी है? जी बिल्कुल. Then they are right. डॉक्टर साहब मैं sorry मुझे एक्चुअली पहले मैंने जो डिस्कशन शुरू की थी वो इसलिए शुरू की थी हमारी प्रेजेंटेशन खत्म हो गई थी. So I thought we'll cover that time which we lost in that. Now we have our next presenter. Irfan sahab, thank you very much. But stay with us. We are going to have the next. It will be a recorded presentation on application of contemporary technologies in civil engineering by Mr. Khalid Mirza, who is Chief Executive of Engineering Consultants International Private Limited. Khalid Mirza sahab, aap kindly, you are unable to explain to us or answer my question because this is a recorded message. So we are starting off the presentation ourselves.
Presentation process involving planning, designing, and construction sequence as common for any construction project. An effective tool for construction simulation is a revolutionary product developed at Stanford University known as ANIS, which uses BIM and integrates it with project planning and construction and maintenance. Detailed information can be accessed from their website at www.alistechnologies.com. The software allows what-if scenarios, including impact of changes in specification of materials, reduction in increase in the resources allocation, including labor and machinery, multiple shift analysis, costing, etc. The software generates thousands of potential what-if scenarios based on the input provided by the user. In Pakistan, we continuously experience problems associated with resources and materials which invariably delay project completion by several months, if not years. An adaptation to this technology may gradually facilitate us overcoming this problem, if not eliminating it. This will require training, capacity building, and willingness to adopt this technology by the contractor, which require encouragement and support of the stakeholders to accept such adaptation. Any change is always hard to bring about. This could be one such challenge, but we have to confront it. The next technology of interest is LiDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging. It is a technology based on remote sensing method that civil engineers can use to examine surface of Earth and the objects over it. It uses light in the form of pulsed laser to measure ranges, which are also known as variable distances to the Earth or the objects it is scanning. Those light pulses in combination with other data is recorded by an airborne or ground-based system which generate precise 3D information about Earth's surface or the objects and its characteristics. A LiDAR instrument is generally involved a laser, a scanner, and a specialized GPS receiver together with other distance measuring and recording gadgetries. Typically, it can be placed either on an airplane or helicopter or a drone to acquire data over broad areas of land. LiDAR systems have plenty of application in civil engineering industry, one of which is mobile mapping, which is extensively being used these days. It requires a LiDAR equipment installed over a vehicle, and that vehicle is operated at a speed of 80 to 90 or even 100 kilometers per hour, and it gathers data around it, as you can see in the top picture. While the vehicle is moving, it is recording everything, and likewise, you can see the aircraft scanning the ground and collecting information. A LiDAR instrument generally involves a laser, a scanner, and a specialized GPS receiver. LiDAR can be used in several engineering applications through mobile mapping systems, a typical setup of which is shown in the picture describing its components. LiDAR is used through mobile mapping for various civil engineering applications such as surveying, mapping archaeological sites, creating digital elevation models, 3D data capture for city models, and GIS databases. These systems are also used in disaster management such as flood mapping and landslide risk assessments. LiDAR can be used for developing and implementing road asset management systems, which are also known as RAMs. It's an effective tool for knowledge-based decision-making by engineers involved in development and maintenance management of road networks in cities, districts, or provinces of the country. This tool can be used for knowledge-based decision-making at network level, meaning that all the road sections in the network are analyzed, or project level, that is, specific road sections are analyzed. This facilitates planning annual development plans and road maintenance plans for maintenance and management. An example of such system is presented here, which shows how Road Transport Authority in Dubai is using this system to maintain their high quality of road network within their jurisdiction. The next technology of interest is ground penetrating radar, or GPR. It's a geophysical model of locating underground utilities including water, electric cables, sewer lines, voids, objects, and soil composition. This technology captures clear image of subsurface structures using radio waves in a non-invasive manner. This technology can be used to detect and map buried objects such as underground utilities, including water lines, sewer lines, gas lines, electric cables, and determine soil characteristics including material density, layer thicknesses, percentage of water content in each layer, and material composition. As you can see, that GPR is comprised of, number one, an antenna for sending a signal into the ground and receiving the reflected signal back and store it, a power source to operate the system, and a control unit which contains a sophisticated electronic that triggers the pulse of radio wave for antenna for it to send and receive signals, which is recorded for further analysis by engineers and experts. As we can see in the illustration, GPR can be installed or mounted on a trolley or a backpack with a trolley. It can be mounted on a drone, or it can be fitted on a vehicle together with the larger sensors to look deeper into the ground, where it can capture information up to a depth of 2 meters. This is very useful when analyzing or capturing data on a road structure. This illustration depicts the use and application of this technology, which includes, number one, inspection for determination of quality of concrete without disturbing the existing structures. Number two, locating and mapping underground utility lines or buried infrastructure. Number three, geological, geophysical, and environmental assessment. Number four, transportation, infrastructure evaluation and assessment. Number five, archaeological and forensic analysis. As you will appreciate that in most of our cities and towns, none of the agency has kept the record of their infrastructure for which they are responsible. Therefore, this technology can be used to catalog and record location, state, and status of the buried infrastructure, and also determine the health of any concrete structure, especially the old and heritage buildings which are existing in our cities and towns, and nobody cared to preserve those structures.
شرعت بلدية منطقة الظفرة متمثلة بقطاع البنية التحتية في استخدام مجموعة من الأنظمة الحديثة مثل نظام GPR، والذي يعتبر جهاز لتحديد طبقات الرصف عن طريق رادار الاختراق الأرضي. كما تسعى البلدية لتطبيق مجموعة من التقنيات الحديثة على شبكة الطرق القائمة بمنطقة الظفرة.
As with any technology, GPR has its advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are that it is a non-invasive method. It does not require any surface to be broken or torn apart. It saves money. It is applied in difficult sites which has space restrictions. It is very easy to use, and it increases compliance with the site safety protocols. Now, the disadvantages, which are dependent on the level of implementation and usage, it takes time to collect data because you have to move slow. For its operation, you need intensive training, and whatever data is gathered, it requires a special interpretational skills. It is very effective on flat ground surfaces, but it reduces its coverage if there are obstructions encountered. It is not effective in clay soils. If the soil underneath is water saturated or high in water content, then the data is not very informative. There are possibilities of error when you are interpreting the data. So that's why high skills for interpretation of data is required. And for the post-processing of data, it is a time-consuming process. So these are some of these disadvantages which can be countered by developing a skillful technical staff and build a capacity with the multiple individuals having expertise in data interpretation so that least variance and divergence can be assured. The next technology of interest is unmanned aerial vehicles, which are also known as drones. Drones are expected to become increasingly common, including in the civil engineering industry, as evident from the data presented in this illustration showing an application in various sectors, especially infrastructure and agriculture, both of which are critically important for Pakistan. Drones are now equipped with high-resolution cameras that can collect data, create interactive 3D or topographical maps and models, and measure volumes. They can also be used for safety inspections on places that are harder or more dangerous to access, like bridges or skyscrapers. Drones can also be used to monitor progress and efficiency on the job sites. The technology continues to evolve and sophisticate itself with added capabilities such as AI integration and automated object recognition. With all their potential applications, drones are already being used in sectors as shown in this illustration. Its application in civil engineering, especially construction, is highly attractive as it saves time and money since the technology continues to advance, getting more accurate and precise in its readings. This means that less human involvement will transform the way construction industry works. Technology of interest application is in transportation planning. But before proceeding further and describing that technology, I would like to share with you the definition of transport planning. Transportation planning is a process of looking at current state of transportation infrastructure of a neighborhood or a town, city, district, province, country, or a geographic region and preparing plans to meet its travel demand and comply with future transportation needs in consideration of budgets, objectives, goals, and the policies of the administration. Transportation planning combines subjects of sophisticated nature such as mathematical modeling, numerical analysis, and large databases containing transportation and social data of the area of interest, which could be in millions of records constituting that area of interest. Transportation planning requires a lot of information and data. It includes origin and destination, which is the analysis of the movement of people to understand travel demand and associated needs for transportation investment. The next is linking social data, which includes demographics and user activity. By saying that, it means that you have to know the location of the homes or the settlements and its demographics, the roadway links, which provide means of communication from point A to point B. Then you need volumes, traffic volumes, and operating speeds in order to examine network-wise or link-wise roadway capacities and to describe or ascertain the degree of congestion and to evolve and determine how to manage those congestions and eliminate or facilitate or reduce those congestion in terms of the peak hours or a specific time of the day or a specific time of the year, whatever is required. With this data, you need to carry out three types of analysis, which include corridor analysis, intersection analysis, and safety analysis. With the combination of these two, you prepare a transport model that represent the transport needs and requirements for the given area of interest. This illustration shows an area of interest which is divided into specific zones that are created based on unique characteristics such as physical features, geography, demographics, social information, traffic information, etc. With data sets indicated in the previous slide, the transport planner carried out an analysis to establish travel demand from one zone to the other. This creates a travel desire line diagram between zones, which is illustrated with lines in the illustration having a specific thickness depicting travel demand between sets of zones. Traditionally, different manual surveys were carried out for this purpose. However, with the advancements in cell phone technology and the evolution of 5G cellular networks, it is now possible to use cell phones, either normal or smartphones, to obtain or collect data for the purpose of carrying out transportation planning, as we will illustrate in the next drawing. This illustration shows a wireless cellular phone network. With the wide-ranging use of cell phone in Pakistan, it is understood that most, if not all, families or members of the families own a cellular phone, which they carry as they commute or travel from home to any area of interest. For this purpose, they use a mode of transport, including a private transport such as car, motorcycle, bicycle, or even walking, or public transport such as buses, BRT system, metro system, aeroplane, etc. for their movements. Now, these movements are recorded as they travel along with their cell phones, which provide information on the travel details, which can be used by the transport planners. The framework for utilizing this data requires legislation and regulations, as any personal or private information cannot be shared by cell phone companies. For this purpose, cell phone companies anonymize the data and share it with the experts as required by hiding all the information except the movement of the phone as it traces its path through their cellular phone towers. These tower pings all the mobile phones, whether on or off, to ascertain their location within the cell or the zone governed by these cell phone towers. Once this data is made available, sophisticated models are used to analyze these data sets. The information is processed to generate a travel demand model for the area of interest, which leads to development of representative transportation plan based on travel demand within the area of interest. This technology is being used in various countries within the subcontinent, such as Bhutan, Nepal, India, and Bangladesh. In Pakistan, there is a need for legislating and creating a regulatory regime to facilitate the use of cell phone data for various purposes, including transportation planning, which essentially required to save cost and make road network more efficient, providing connectivity to the population center and promoting business opportunities. This slide illustrates what is being said for the previous slide. You can see that in this video, there is an area of interest which is divided into zones. The cell phone movement data from origin to destination is created and shown with the arcs, and with this information you can generate trips by trip purposes, trip by day aggregation, and trip by hour aggregation, which is shown in the video, on the right side of the screen. These information can be displayed in real time also if the data sets are provided online and provide very useful information for that purpose. Pakistan must embrace and facilitate application of technologies in all fields of life to improve living standards of its population. Civil engineering is the essential conduit that may bring about such improvements in urban and rural infrastructure. The government must consider removing hurdles and facilitating the use of appropriate technologies by providing the required legislation and regulatory framework so that required capacity can be developed and skilled human resources are encouraged to use their skills in national development. Current government policies constrain and restrict the use of contemporary technologies. For example, there is no legal framework or regulatory regime that facilitate the legal use of LiDAR, drones, and cell phone data. If allowed, these technologies will significantly improve planning and decision-making processes, which will be based on knowledge-based information, thereby optimizing the use of resources to address financial constraints. Such initiatives will facilitate reversing the brain drain and encourage innovation and creation of fresh business avenues for young professionals. Industry and academia must collaborate to encourage innovation and improvement in the existing processes using contemporary technologies to bring productivity and efficiency in the workflows through academic and applied research initiatives. Introduce and integrate curriculum that with the application of contemporary technologies in universities and the polytechnics so that we have trained and skilled professionals and technicians. Mandatory technology-oriented training and skill development programs should be encouraged. Customization and product development initiative must be taken to provide practical solutions to the needs and requirements of the public and private sector entities at national and international levels. If these initiatives are taken gradually, I think we will be set to path of progress that will bring about the required change. For those of you who would like to gather more information or insights into this technology phenomena, I would suggest a few readings, which includes a book by Mr. Azaziaur Rahman titled Governance of Technologies. It is a recently published book and available on Amazon and also in the local market. It is authored by a professional who is very conversant with the technologies and has applied his knowledge not only in Pakistan but outside Pakistan as well. In addition, there is a very nice paper on building information modeling, which is available on internet, and it is also authored by a Pakistani professional, Dr. Azhar. And the third one, which is a very interesting document, is prepared by Atlantic Council of US, and it illustrates the state of Pakistan's technology landscape and startup economy, and it very beautifully describes the state of affairs in Pakistan and the constraints and limitations in application of technology in the country. I suggest that if you have time, do go through these documents, and it will provide you with better insight into the state of technology in Pakistan. Thank you for your audience, and if you have any question or require additional information, please contact me at the address mentioned here or the telephone numbers or email address given in this slide. Again, thank you very much, and again, thank you to Pakistan Academy of Engineers for providing me with this opportunity to make this presentation. Thank you very much.
Linkage of university with industry, different products for the other. मेरे अभी सामने कहा था ये कितने करना चाह रहे हैं
सर वॉइस क्लियर नहीं आ रही आप सर
अब आ रही है बिल्कुल आ रही है
सर रोस्टम पे चले जाए
वाला माइक अब आ रही है आपको बात First of all, on behalf of UIT University, we welcome all the members of PAE. As discussed, the interaction with the industry and the academia is a must. We cannot wait more and we have to take the practical steps. Things are changing. I have not seen all the presentation, but because previously I was at the Associate University where we had a very strong civil engineering department over there. And what we have done is to engage, we have gone to different industries and find out that the role of IT is there in all of the areas, whether it's a civil engineering or biomedical engineering or any type of thing we will see. And as the time will come, there will be demand that we should have a interdisciplinary things coming on, like projects as well as working, because now once we go to the field, we have the expertise of not just one area but multiple of areas. So we have to use HR that we can work directly into the industry and have the knowledge, appropriate knowledge. So as Dr. Ahmed just came to me last week that we have to organize, the PAE has to organize a seminar over here. I say it's previously in associate, I think some of you have known that. We have opened all of the things because one thing is that it's part of a society. Universities are a part of society and it should deliver something to this world. Not just in terms of giving the degrees, but they should be involved in the policy making, interacting with the industry, finding out what's happening, giving ideas to the industry, how to change the things, or how to at the different sectors in the society. So this is not the beginning, but we will continue, not just collaborating with, but for all the other things which you think that university should come forward and we can interact with each other. It's very open, and we will see how we can process further. Pakistan Academy of Sciences, Engineering. I think I have just went to one of the meetings over there and then have office over there. And this is the second time I'm attending the event organized by the PAE. And one thing which I've seen is that the policy documents they have prepared over there. So a lot of work has been done. Now, the next step is how to implement those things in the current situation in Pakistan. Because we have to move forward, there is a lot of issues. We see every day that there is a new avenues are coming up, the new challenges are there. But one thing is that will not need to go away, is the use of technology and the AI. And
Okay. और डॉक्टर साहब को चूंकि सुनाई भी दे रहा और डॉक्टर साहब ने मुझ पे जिम्मेदारी डाल दी है कि मैं क्लोजिंग रिमार्क्स दे रहा हूँ. आमतौर पे we have a tradition. The President Pakistan Academy of Engineering gives closing remarks. It was wonderful to have you all here. Usman Institute of Technology, खास तौर पे within no just like that they gave a decision. Thank you very much, Doctor. Next time, hopefully, we'll have a project, symposium in which your students could also participate. It will be university of students should also participate. If not students, at least the faculty must come. लेकिन चूंकि हमने टाइम कम किया था इसलिए और एग्जाम्स चल रहे थे तो इसलिए थोड़ा सा इशू हो गया. We are very thankful. We'll just wait here for हमारे को थोड़ा सा working, we are very thankful. We'll just wait here for हमारे को थोड़ा सा working lunch आ जाएगा, so kindly join us.